Hi guys, I'm Nicole Fig. Welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted a tutorial in a hot minute and I'm currently in Mexico. You can see by the beautiful weather and the birds and just everything. It's quite warm, but I'm really enjoying the heat. I just thought that it would be the perfect opportunity to make a new series for you guys, and I asked on my Instagram and I also asked as a YouTube post what you guys would like to learn, and I got a few suggestions to make polkas, and I realized that I've never really spoken about how I play polkas. So yeah, with the weather and everything, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity. So what I'm going to do is first I'm gonna tell you how or where I learned polkas from, um, who I learned them from, and what's kind of like my style, or who influenced me to play polkas the way that I do. And after that, I will make little videos for you with different variations. Please keep in mind that these are just kind of like the bones of how I do the polkas, and I'm gonna focus only on one branch because I do it in two different ways. So these are going to be just kind of like the bare bones of how I do the polkas. Of course, please feel free to add different variations, ornamentations, different fillers, different things like that. This is just kind of like the basic polka rhythms. Okay, so how or why do I play polkas the way that I do? The first branch, or the first way that I play polkas, is from Jim Higgins. Many of you might be aware that Jim Higgins is my teacher, and he's my main teacher. From the beginning of my journey, I took different master classes from different players that would come through the University of Limerick as part of my course, so that all of us would have different experience with different styles and different ways of approaching the music. That was true for bodhrán players as well as melody players, but my main teacher has always been Jim Higgins. So a lot of the way that I play I play the way I play because of him. His way of polkas is a bit more kind of syncopated, and it has different tippings. So it's not just one consistent tipper motion, but you have like a combination of different ones. And then the different branch that I learned from was actually from Steve Cooney, and this is such a really amazing experience for me. I was in the University of Limerick and he just finished a show for the lunchtime concert, and I approached him and he was very, very kind and patient to sit down with me and actually teach me how to play polkas, which is absolutely amazing, and I really, really love it. So I have these two branches of how I kind of envision the polkas, and I don't think one is better than the other. I think it just depends on the tune itself and what you're trying to accomplish with the rhythm. Sometimes I mix them, sometimes I stay one tune, maybe with one branch or one style, and then I will go to the other for a different tune type. It all depends on the actual tune itself. That's the most important. So what I'm going to do for this series is that I'm going to show you the Steve Cooney way. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys before we even touch the drum at all is just to talk about what polkas are. So the polkas come from Śliw Lukra, which is kind of like in a way, like an imaginary border of music between Limerick, Cork and Kerry. And it's dance music. So polkas are predominantly dance music, as all Irish music is dance music, but now it's kind of branched out a little bit to like listening music and dance music, but that's a topic for another day. But the thing that you really, really want to kind of consider with the polkas is the dancing. That's the most important, the feeling of the dancing. So before you go any further on this video, I would suggest you pause it and you go onto YouTube, another tab or something, and search set dancing, polkas, Kerry polkas, things like this, and watch the dancers. I really, really want you to watch the dancers because there is an amazing lift from them when they're dancing. I want you to focus on their feet, and I want you to focus on that lightness and where that beat comes. That's really, really important because it's the offbeat that's important. Of course, the main beat is also very important, but the offbeat is what gives it that lift for the polkas. The second thing I would love for you to do is if you can actually go and listen to Steve Cooney play. He's an amazing guitar player. If you don't know him, definitely go check him out right now and just see how he's playing, see how he's doing the offbeat with his hand, and feel that kind of like lift again from the music. Is really, really important. If you play polkas straight, you're not really playing polkas. So that's really, really important. Before you even start playing them, you have to kind of internalize the rhythm, and you have to internalize that lift, that flow that you have. The last thing I want to talk about before we get started is a lot of the times you have to realize that we can only play, as violin players, we can only play along to what it's being played melody wise. So if the players in the melody are not familiar with that lift or that oomph that the polkas have, and they play them straight or they play them too slow, even if you have the internal lift and the internal oomph, is not really going to match to that. So that's also really important to kind of keep in mind, that it also depends who you're listening to, who you're playing with, and if they themselves, the melody players, if they themselves have that lift and for the polkas and the speed as well. Okay, so now that we've covered some of the basics, and I hope you actually have paused the video and done a little bit of research, let's get started. So the first part of it is we're just gonna get the main body of the oomph, okay? And to do that, it's gonna be very simple. It's just gonna be a down, up motion, but we're gonna focus on the offbeat, and the offbeat is always gonna be the upstroke, okay? So my drum has been kind of sitting in the sun for a while, so it's gonna be quite high, so I apologize for that, but we'll make it work. So here we go, to try to get the body. So I will show you the tonal hand in a little bit, but first let's just focus on the tipper hand. So what you want to do is go down, and you really want that crisp upstroke. If you go, you're making it equal, and the emphasis is the same, so it's kind of like the same, and it becomes really kind of flat and monotonous. So you want to go, it's like you're not 100% ghosting or silencing the downstroke, because it's really important to have your ground and your earth when you're playing the polkas, but you're focusing on that upstroke as well. Okay, so try that for a bit. Just familiarize yourself with that kind of motion, because that upstroke can be quite weird at first if you're not used to you doing like kind of good strong upstrokes. Now that you've kind of gone through that, we're gonna add the tonal hand, and that's gonna make a huge difference. So what you want to do is you want to go from the snare position, which is I use this little kind of puffy part of my hand, into the pop position, which I use kind of this edge of my hand. If you're not 100% sure with the hand positions and you would like to copy mine, perhaps you can look at older videos to familiarize yourself with my style. So yeah, I'm gonna go from the snare and then to the pop. Okay, so just try that to get the coordination of your hand with this. So it's basically you're doing this. Okay? And just try it like that first. So what we're just trying to get you to do is just get kind of comfortable with the mechanics. Okay, so now that you familiarize yourself with the mechanics of the upstroke and your tonal hand, what you want to do now is string it all together to have a consistent uncha, 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 uncha. And remember, you're concentrating on that uncha, 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 uncha. And to be honest, if you do it quite slow, it is quite difficult to do it. I recommend you trying it a little bit faster, but not too fast that you're kind of pushing yourself over your limit and your technique and your kind of feel and groove are at a loss. So you kind of have to find that in between. But if you do it very, very slow, you kind of lose the bounciness and the lift of the polka. So I'm just gonna show you now what it will sound like, and hopefully it's not too fast. And what you want to do here is you want to try to relax as much as you can. I know it's kind of difficult and that upstroke is very strange, but if you're kind of very tight, it's very hard to relax into that kind of lift that they have, or like the dancing. So you want to make sure that you're kind of relaxed. So breathe. And the hand is very fast, you can see it from the back. And you want to feel that. So what I want to show you is what happens if I do it too slow, or what happens if I do it a little bit too straight, and you're gonna hear the sound of it. It's a small change, but it makes a huge difference in the sound and the groove. So I'm gonna start normal, focusing on that upstroke. You see how I started changing it to the downstroke now? It's this. It's the downstroke instead of the upstroke. And if I do it straight, it's very heavy. Tunk, tunk, tunk. So you always want to keep the dancers in your mind. You always want to keep that lift. Up, up, up. Of course, then you can try to get a little bit faster than that if you're comfortable, or if you feel that you're up for that. And you can see that even though I'm putting more emphasis on the upstroke, I'm still quite relaxed. You don't want to do that. It's very, very hard to get the groove. Okay, so the next part now is to put a little bit of a fill. And I'm gonna do the simplest fill at the moment, but it's quite powerful. So I use it all the time, even though it's very simple. So what you're gonna do, and of course, this all depends on the tune, right? These are just kind of like the basics, and kind of like just the technique and the mechanics of it, but always keep in mind what you're accompanying it to and where to put those fills that are appropriate. Right now, I'm just kind of showing you specific places so that you kind of have a way to practice it, but you don't have to do it in this way. This is just an exercise. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so now what you want to do is and it's quite simple. What I'm doing is 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. So I'm just using kind of either this or this part, depending on what you want to achieve sound-wise, and you're just gonna go down, 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 and you're gonna go literally down, down, down. It's just a tap, 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 tap. So you're doing ta-ka, 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 tap, tap, ta-ka. Okay, so if you notice, my last downstroke is like my 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, and you have to go from that 1 on my snare. You have to turn your hand and go to the pop for that upstroke, because that's your 1, and then you go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And you always have to think of that upstroke. If you lose that kind of lift, kind of warning or kind of feeling or thought, it's very easy for it to fall flat. So you kind of always have to keep on top of, do that, cha, 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 okay? And now another thing for that, like I mentioned, you don't have to do it after 3. So you have to go 1, 2, 3, da, da, da. You could do this as long as you want, and then go when it's appropriate. So you could go. Okay, so that's the basic kind of structure of the feeling of the polka, and then with a small fill that, even though it's quite simple, is really powerful, and it just adds something to the group. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for part 2. Thank you. Bye.